We need to wire that new wiring loom into this bad boy. We'll switch the tractor on and see what happens. Absolutely nothing. We found a wet patch. This is going from bad to worse. Oh, that was a frustrating day. So back on site today with the big Mus-Max chipper. Got there, crane's not functioning. There's a little wire frayed in the handles and the proportional controls, so it's not like giving me the functionality of the crane properly. So I've come back to the office, ordered a new cable. That should be with us first thing in the morning, so we can get that back on the chipper, get it back up and running, get back to site later in the week. Hugely frustrating, but while I was here, just thought I'd share this with you. Walked in, Jane says, "So what would you like for Christmas?" Oh, I've got a clue, I haven't really thought about Christmas. Like, it seems a long way off, even though it isn't. I said, I'll have a new telehandler. She's like, don't be daft. If you want a new telehandler, you buy your own. Right. All right, I'll have a reindeer. She's like, random. Why would you want a reindeer? I said, don't know, it'd be fun, it's Christmas. Anyway, so I started Googling, like telehandlers and reindeers. This just came up. Any of you guess, I've cropped the photo, any of you guess who on earth would be in the market for hiring out telehandlers or reindeer or both? Some of you should be able to guess this, and we'll put it up in a couple of videos' time, the full picture, if I'm allowed to. Back to the chipper. I'll carry on now. We'll try and get the controls sorted out, and then we'll get back to site, get some chipping done. Had a bit of a frustrating day yesterday. I got all the way down to site, where you'll have seen in one of the previous videos, we were doing all that tree shearing. Took the big Mus-Max chipper behind the 215 down to site. Got there, couldn't get the crane to work. It was like, nightmare. So the controls on the Mus-Max, these electric proportional controls, and the cable that runs to the solenoids and jazz on the chipper to make the cranes work on that valve block. So that wire connects into the bottom of here. A couple of wires here which are broken, frayed. It's not been very good for a while. I've pulled this bit of rubber back and that's all jiggered. So today's challenge, I've got a new cable, which we have here. So that end plugs in to the bottom of the joysticks, and I've got all these wires here, which I seem to need to either splice into the existing wire or take it back to one of the junctions. Lots of different coloured wires. So hopefully this will be a bit of a logical process of just going through, swapping it over, and that'll work really beautifully if all those colours in those wires match up to the colours in the existing wire when I put it into that terminal block. We get that done and hopefully the crane will work. The first thing to do, because the assumption is the mother of all bad things happening, make sure this fits in there, because if this doesn't fit into this socket and I get to the hassle of wiring all that lot up, I'll be in a very grumpy mood. Yeah, standard 25 pin plug, so that's good. We've got so much spare wire here, we could probably operate the chipper from about a mile away. Right, so these are the main junction blocks which go from the chipper, so they stay with the chipper when we want to take the controls out of the tractor. And then we've got these sockets there we put on the back that take the controls out of the tractor and plug in to join that all together. So what I'm thinking of doing, we don't need miles and miles and miles of cable here. So what I'm thinking of doing is wiring this control wire and the other control wire straight into those blocks. We can do away with all this extra cable. We need to wire that new wiring loom into this bad boy. So just open this plug up. That's the terminal block. So now we should be able to copy the wires from this to that. So I'm going to cut the old wire through there. A pair of scissors through all that copper. Amazing, isn't it? So we'll cut that off. Reason being is what I want to do is keep that lot intact so I can copy the wiring colours on here. Oh, I hope this works. Hands are bloody freezing. The wires are really thin. So when I strip the insulation off back to the copper or aluminium in there, try and screw that in. It's like a little chop block design. It's not going to hold, it's just going to pull out. And you'll notice all these little white tabs just in here. The ends of the cables are made off with those. So that's crimped on, so it gets a much better purchase in the connector block. These are called bootlace ferrules. So what I'm doing now is just tracing these wires and looking at the same colours. So that's a blue and white, that's a blue and white. My little wire strippers, these are dead handy. Just stripping back enough of the wire, so it's about the same length there as the ferrule, that little metal bit. Just slide those on, and with a little crimpy tool, just crimp them on. And that just puts that little end on the wire. That's really firm on there. So I'll just keep going through all these wires now, and then we'll give it a try. Right, I managed to get all the cables in there, matched all the colours up, put the box back together. Just tighten that gland up, grip that cable so it can't pull out. That's the new lead. Hopefully this will work. So we'll just give it a quick try. If this works, I should be able to control the crane from here. We'll switch the tractor on and see what happens. Absolutely nothing. Still got absolutely nothing on the joysticks. That valve's opened up like it was doing yesterday. Just let that leg down, so that's a bit of a mystery. We're no better off. Well, that solved nothing. We'll have to go to this control box here and see what's going on in here, I think. I need to make a phone call. So I opened that little control box up and I got to the bottom of the problem. Made a couple of phone calls and we got, next day, these sent. So what had gone wrong, got this little relay in this DIN mounting housing. I didn't take any chances. When I saw this, you'll see there, it's all black and burnt out. It smells like burnt plastic, it's horrible. In the relay as well, there's loads of scorching. Now, that might just be from that, and that might be okay. Not taking any chances. About 50 quid's worth of stuff with postage for the relay and the holder. Got a new one of these sent, put them back on the chipper. Before we powered it all up, got auto electrician out. He's better looking at resistances and stuff with his multimeter than I am. And we traced through all the wires and found we were getting a direct short from live to neutral. So sending power the wrong way, it was obviously fried this. So before we put all the new stuff on, we checked that and found the problem, because that doesn't happen for no reason. So yeah, just some of the fatigue in the cable shorted and caused a problem. So really pleased we found that. And that's got us back up and running. So back down to site tomorrow and we can carry on chipping, get this site nice and tidy. So back on the site for the second time with the big chipper. Hopefully today we're more productive than when we had the electrical fault on the big chipper. We'll get her unfolded and into work position. Lift the spout up. Now we're ready for action. Right, we'll make a start. Always like to leave the window open when I first start, just so I can hear the machine, make sure we haven't got any noises that shouldn't be there. And just lift the crane up. The crane runs off power beyond of the tractor. The rest of the functions of the machine are off its own hydraulic system. And also the PTO that's driving the belts for the chipper drum. So rev the tractor up. Start the in-feed conveyor. Away we go. Well, the chipping was going really, really well. We got probably about a good third of the way through. And I've come down to this next pile and I've had to turn round and it's all gone pear-shaped. So unfortunately, we found a wet patch. I haven't got a lot of room to play with. The tractor won't go forward and it certainly won't go backwards. So what was going really, really well has just gone a bit pear-shaped. I should have known better. I should have backed all the way out, turned round right up there and then backed in as far as I could and been in a safer direction of travel for recovery if required. And I turned it round here in a bit of a tight spot. So what I'm going to have to do now, fortunately we've got the 13 tonner on site with the tree shears. So I'm going to go over to the other side of the site, pick that, get that. We'll use the tree shears to move a load of this brash out of the way, and trunks, hopefully to give enough room for the 13 tonner then to be able to give us a tug forward and get us out of this pickle. If we can get out of this spot, then we're not high and dry, because I've still got to either turn round or reverse out the whole place. This has just turned into a real pain of a Monday afternoon. So we've got Luke on the 13 tonner to the rescue. These dyno ropes, it's like really, really, really strong. Great big shackles. I like these debogging ropes because they're like super strong, but they don't weigh like a chain does. The chain's so heavy to get into these wet places. Anyway, we're shackled up. We'll give it everything we've got. See how we can get this out or not. Oh, it was all going so well. She doesn't want to come out forwards. There's no way going backwards, so we're going to try and lift the chipper. I don't know how successful this is going to be. There's a lifting point on this side of the chipper here. I'm going to drop the shears off and just see whether the digger will pick this up out of the mud, and then we'll try and walk it out with the tractor driving forward. Plan 2. We'll just try clawing some of this mud out of the way. Unfortunately, we haven't got a bucket with us. 13 tonne is good, but they're not that strong, they're not that heavy. We had the 18 tonner on site, then I'd have a bit more confidence that we'd either lift it up or pull the bugger out. But this is going from bad to worse, because as the tractor gets stuck, we're really knackered. Right, I think the only thing we can do is try and drop it off the tractor, get a shackle on the drawbar and spin it round. If we can get it off the hitch. Right, don't know whether this is a good idea or a bad idea, taking the tractor off the implement. This is always last ditched attempt really. I'd rather have it all attached, but maybe we're digging down the side of that tyre. We get a shackle on the drawbar on the digger over there, maybe we can spin it back out onto higher ground. Yeah. Dump valve on the brakes. Oh, what joy we're having! If only the summer could have just stayed for us a little longer. If we'd just had a bit more dry weather. It's this rain over the last fortnight that's really turned the site to porridge. Well and truly stuck there. I can't decide whether the air brakes are stuck on as well or it's just the mud. Should come up a bit anyway. Right, what I think we'll do now is have that unhitched, we'll get back on the tractor. We'll back the tractor into here, get the digger into here. Oh, what drama. Right, so what we're doing now, putting the tractor back on the chipper. Now I've got it spun round, hopefully there's less suction resistance on there. Before we start digging holes with the tractor, we'll have a digger straight onto the front of the tractor, see if we can pull it out. Attempt number 3. Oh, so much for cleaning the cab out yesterday. Not convinced I'm going to be able to turn round yet. Well, we're out for now. Whew. Reversing is going to take a bit of doing here though. We have to try and reverse that back up into there to get the tractor turned round. This will be a bit interesting. This is going to need a dose of thinking about. because we cannot turn around. There's a shackle onto the back and drag this backwards. See, anyway, we're going to get into a worse pickle if we're not careful. It's just this top layer, this top foot or so of mush. Below that, it's not too bad. It's pretty firm in most parts. Right. If you can't get a tractor and trailer out when you've got a 13 tonner on site, then it is a bad day in the office. That is definitely up for a power washing when it gets back. But at least it's out. Happy days. Well, after that little drama, we carry on chipping. We'll have to get in stuck. We're not going to finish it all tonight. We're making good progress now. I've got the last pile here I'm going to do. Then I think we'll call it an evening. Good half day, I suppose, left chipping. So we'd have never finished it all today anyway. But yeah, it's going really well. We've got through that wet spot now, so it's up home and dry really. There's a hardcore track under the rest of where we're working, so let's get this last bit done now. It can rain all it likes to. We've got piles of chip everywhere. Mountains of the stuff. Good quality chip as well really, even though it's whole tree chipping. There's a few slithers in it, as you kind of get from this sort of material, but yeah, it's not bad. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm just going to come back here tomorrow. We're going to finish chipping this site off, and then we'll be back with the excavator, brash raking. So hit the subscribe button. We'll keep doing our very best to try and make videos that you guys enjoy, and looking for a fantastic 2026. We've got loads of exciting things that are going to be coming up next year as well, so you're not going to want to miss that. Have a great week. Catch you soon.